This one. That you, yeah.
Yeah, that was a hard thing.
Back in the day.
Back in the day.
I've been talking about this recently, actually. I want to grab it, pick it up.
Yeah, man, I remember that. Brings back memories.
I'll see if they've got a manual. If they've got a manual behind the counter, we'll buy it and play it later on. Relive their memories. I want this as well. Let's go and check. Welcome to this week's Ghetto vlog. I'm in Cannock. That was Cannock CEX. Unfortunately, saw Big P there looking at Rise of Honor. Jet Li. No manual. Somebody once told me before that in that store some of the manuals are behind the counter, so I did double check. I did grab a game which manual was behind the counter, but sadly my hunt for Jet Li's Rise of Honor goes on. Whilst in Cannock we always go to the outlet, so that's where we're going to fly to now. Let's go. Okay, so with a full stomach and a game in hand, I am back in the 3.0 for what promises to be a stacked Ghetto vlog. We're going to be going on a couple of game hunts, but we'll get to that a little bit later on. But first of all, yeah, you've just seen me in Cannock. First things first, give a massive shout out to Big P. He's not over often, he lives in Qatar, so it was nice to catch up with him. And he's what you'd call a casual gamer, right? Just sort of plays football games and things like that. But we grew up gaming together in our younger days, and it was great to see him in CEX, sort of having those memories come flooding back, watching that nostalgia hit him. I've seen it so many times, right? That's how game collectors are born. When you're in them places and you just think, oh yeah, I remember that, I remember that, I remember that. But as I say, sadly, the Jet Li Rise to Honor didn't have the manual, so I didn't want to pick it up. So my hunt for that one does seem to keep going on. But somebody told me last time I was at Cannock to always ask behind the desk for manuals. And I did that, and thankfully this one had a manual, because I've been after the PS3 Classics HD line for quite a while now, and this is one that I've been wanting to pick up and add to that set, and that is Ico and Shadow of the Colossus. So this one's a 2011 compilation release, and I'm not going to go into too much detail about Shadow of the Colossus because we bought that on a very recent vlog. We got the PS4 version for the only on PlayStation sleeve set that I've got. So yeah, we're going to concentrate more so on Ico. That's a game I've never played. Originally it was a PlayStation 2 2001 release, and it's an action-adventure game that was designed and directed by Fumito Ueda, who wanted to create a minimalist game based on the traditional boy meets girl concept. It was originally planned for the PlayStation 1, but the game ended up taking over 4 years to develop, so it got released on the PlayStation 2. Now you play as Ico, a boy born with horns, and as a result villagers lock him in an abandoned tower, and ultimately you have to escape with the help of a princess, of course. There always seems to be a princess in these games, right? But this one's very critically acclaimed. IGN gave this 9 out of 10, Eurogamer gave it 10 out of 10, and it's quite often high up on lists of greatest games of all time. So definitely a game that I need to play and experience for myself, and I think a worthy addition. We're now getting through this Classics HD collection. I think I've got like 4 or 5 of these now, including Killzone, which was always like the blocker. That was the most expensive one. So yeah. I'm just going to pick these up as and when I find them in CEX. It's just a great set to have, I think, and I'm kind of at that point in time now with old man eyes that kind of PS2 era, I think it needs to be HD for the most part. Some games have aged well, but a lot haven't. So yeah, I think that's definitely going to be the way to experience Ico. But as I say, there's a lot to be cracking on with on this week's vlog. We've got 2 game hunts that we're going to be going on very shortly. But before that, like me, do you spend a lot of time on your phone? Of course you do. You're probably watching me on a phone now, or you're using the phone as a secondary screen whilst you're watching. Well, if you are, you might as well download this app. It's called Tester Up, and basically allows you to earn money by testing apps and games and then answering survey questions about it. All you need to do is download the app. There's a QR code on screen now. You sign up, pick an app to test, complete simple tasks like playing a game or answering questions, and that's it. Obviously, I chose a game to download, played it for a few minutes, and earned money by giving my feedback. That's it, it's that easy. It's completely free, it's quick and easy to register yourself, and you can get paid up to £80 per app test, and payouts will hit your bank within 24 hours. Now, you might be thinking that sounds too good to be true. Well, don't take my word for it. They've got over 3 million users and a high Trustpilot rating of 4.2. I'd rather be earning money than just doom scrolling for hours through social media. The link will be in the video description as well as the top pinned comment, or of course you can use this QR code. I'm going to do one more test and then we're going to head out on the second of today's game hunts. Alright, so myself and RG Jr. are headed to the Nottinghamshire town of Warsop, and the reason we're here is for the brand new Retro Vault. They've opened just a couple doors down, it looks fantastic, let's go and check it out. Okay, GameCube, player's choice. What we got? 2, 3. Got them all. Someone's already had it?
Well, no, you were on the hunt and you were like, what player's choice have we got?
Who's Will?
Will Norton, twiddly moustache guy.
Sounds like my new rival. I've got Ops in Warsaw. It's apparently terrible as well.
Yes, it looks awful. I looked at it on YouTube and it's not even a game.
Is it not?
It's like a cartoon, and then at the end
Like a
you
playable
can like
type thing.
colour in things and do puzzles and
so
stuff.
That's, yeah. I mean, I'm a big Greek mythology fan. We both are. We've just come back from Greece, actually. And I love most things Greek mythology, but I mean, if it's not even a game, makes it difficult to even just think about spending that kind of money, doesn't it? That's one for the full set collectors, that is.
Have you got it? It really is.
And back from the all new Retro Vault. But before we get into that and my pickups, let's just take a second. Let's just chill, right? Because it's been a busy week. This is going to be a stacked vlog. Let's just breathe a little. And the postman's been as well. So before we get into that stuff, let's see what we've got here. I think I know what this is, because this is an eBay purchase. And I don't make many eBay purchases anymore. In here we have somebody that uses CEX, clearly. Right, what is here? Past the parcel. It's well packaged, that's for sure. Yes, this is what I thought it was. Yes, 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 yes. We have a white Xbox Kinect. Is it a Kinect or a Kinect camera? We'll call it a Kinect. So, if you saw the Wednesday video, if you're one of the 17 people that watched my Wednesday video, you know why I bought this. But in all seriousness, that video, my sort of love letter to Pro Evo in the Master League. that's just a passion project I've been wanting to do for such a long time. It's one of the videos that I've had in the back of my mind for a couple of years that I really wanted to make, just to sort of have my love for Pro Evo on film, right, and make a video about it. It wasn't a video that was going to be for everybody, because obviously there's a lot of people that don't like football, and it was quite different content from myself. But as a content creator, sometimes you have to make those videos that you really want to make, right? You have to make some videos for yourself, if you like. And I really enjoyed that. And I think the people that watched it really enjoyed it. The engagement was really high. But like I say, obviously, not everybody's into football. But for those that did watch it, I really appreciate it. And we will be doing future updates on my FC Ghetto team and how they're getting on. I also need to update you guys on my Meat Boy journey. So that'll be coming later on as well. But yeah, so I picked this up because this enables me to take photos of maybe my face to try and scan that in-game. Also, I should be able to now take a photo of the Retro Ghetto logo and all that kind of stuff to further enhance the kit that we made for FC Ghetto. And obviously I had to get the nice white one, so yeah man, all good. Right, so with that out the way, let's get into the all new Retro Vault pickup. So I was with RG Jr. because it is now the school holidays. Call him RG Jr. He's now my cameraman. So if we get some nice camera shots over the next few weeks, it's all courtesy to him, right? So shout out to him. Shout out to RG Jr. in the comment section if you thought his camera work was good. And he picked up, well, he wanted to buy everything he picked up, right? It's going to be an expensive time for me. I've got to pay for this cameraman, trust me. But obviously he's a Nintendo Switch guy. And one of the games that he picked up was Mario and Sonic at the Olympics. We actually had a quick blast on it when we came back. Really fun game, really fun. I'd highly recommend this one. We bought Mario Party Jamboree, and whilst it is fun, I actually think this is the better game. I think that these sporting events, for me personally, I think they make for better family fun than the Mario Party Jamboree. So that's probably going to take over our gaming nights from now on. So yeah, if you've got kids, highly recommend that one. But anyway, into my pickups, I was really happy with what I managed to get. First game cost me a grand total of £1, 100 pence, and that is UFC 2009 Undisputed. So the reason I bought this is we've already seen Big P on this vlog. He came over and we were reminiscing about the old UFC games, because me and him used to play the demo of this on repeat. So back in the day, this was Chuck Liddell and Shogun Hua. We had the demo, we played it all the time until we eventually picked up this game, and we played this so much. And I realised recently, when we were having a bit of a game out here, that I only have UFC 2010, the one with Brock Lesnar on the front. So this was like a glaring omission from my collection. There is another one on the Xbox 360. I think it's UFC 3. I think they switched up from the years and just called it UFC 3. That's Anderson Silva on the front. So I might as well pick that one up as well, just so I've got all three on the Xbox 360 system. But this just takes me back to that time, man. I fell in love with the UFC in and around this era. So yeah, I remember discovering this late one night, UFC, and then not really having the ability to find out more about it. And then as it became more commercially aware and more at the forefront, man, I was all in on the UFC around this time. For me, this was the best time period. That sort of ending of Pride, going into UFC, the superstars that we had. Like I say, Chuck Liddell and Shogun Hua, and like I say, Rampage Jackson, the emergence of John Jones, all that stuff. I was so involved with UFC that I was getting my hands on everything I could. Back in the day when CX had more than just games and there was a lot more DVDs, I was picking up all the UFC DVDs. I had all the UFC best knockouts, best fights. We all had that friend, right, that could get you dodgy DVDs, and I just said to him, look, get me every UFC event you can get. And he bought me a whole spindle of discs once. We must have had 50 or so UFC events, and I watched them all, and I really sort of delved into the back catalogue to really get a greater understanding of the UFC and its history, and just reminds me of a very different time. I was single at the time, and yeah, I was very much involved with the UFC, and this game is sort of intrinsically linked with all that. So very, very happy to finally have that back in the collection. This is definitely one I'm going to be delving into at some point. Probably multiplayer with my friend next time he's back in the country. But yeah, for the grand total of £1, just shows you it doesn't matter how much you spend on games, it's about the game itself and how much it means to you, which also links back into that Pro Evo video, right? 50 pence game. Don't be fooled by just having to buy expensive games. This next one, however, is very much driven by FOMO to an extent, but equally, it is a game that I wanted in my collection, but now's the time to purchase this game. We'll get into why in a moment. Well, that is, on the PlayStation 4, John Wick Hex. So this one's a 2019 Bethel Games developed tactical RPG. Now the narrative serves as a prequel to the movies. I've only actually seen the first 2 movies. I know I'm probably going to get stated for that. I started to watch the third one and I couldn't really get into it. I love the first 2. The first one especially for me is a fantastic movie. But this one's a timeline strategy game with resource management. I think when this game first came out, it was like, okay, it looks good, it's quite stylish, the art direction's very much there, but I don't think it's what people wanted from a John Wick game. I don't think people necessarily wanted a tactical management resource-based game. I think they wanted like a balls to the wall, kick in the front door, shoot everything like the movies type game, which we sadly never got. Now, as of July the 17th, this game was removed from all storefronts. So you can't buy this game digitally any longer. You can still play it physically, of course. And the reason for that is undisclosed. So we don't know why. I'm guessing some sort of contractual or commercial disagreements or endings. But this has been going for silly money. So it sold out everywhere at CX once that news broke. Unsurprisingly. I think it's like £18 at CX on the PlayStation 4. I paid £10 for this from the good people over at Retrovolt. So I was always going to be grabbing this. And this is selling for silly money. So I think the cheapest you can currently buy it now for on eBay is in and around £40. There's a sold example on the Switch for £60. So yeah, it will die down. I wouldn't say go out and spend 40, 50, 60 quid on this game. Eventually that will calm down a bit and it will come down in price. But if you see it in and around for sort of like £10, 100% pick you up. You can't go wrong. And yeah, let me know if you've played this one, because it is one that intrigues me. Looking at some of the reviews, it was quite polarising, but I'd love to know from you guys if you've played it and what your thoughts are on it. So yeah, very, very happy to find a game that I was actively looking for, but I didn't expect to find, and certainly not for £10. And that takes me to my biggest purchase of the day, my retro pickup. So they've got that counter by the front desk. Some really nice PlayStation 1 stuff there. They've got real nice influx of PlayStation 1 recently at Retrovolt. And they had a game, which I already knew they had because I saw it on their Facebook, that I was kind of in the market for. And that was the Street Fighter movie game. Now, that's a terrible game and an expensive game. I was very tempted because I am going for all the Street Fighter games. And I had it in my hand and I was sort of and ahhing. It's a lot of money for me to spend right now because we've got some grails, and I mean grails, coming to the channel soon, but we'll talk about that in another video. I just didn't want to pull the trigger on it today. Luckily for me, they had another Street Fighter game that somehow I didn't have in my collection. I can't believe I didn't have this in my collection, but somehow it was missing, and that is Street Fighter Alpha Warrior's Dreams. So this one's known as Street Fighter Zero in Japan, and it's a 1995 Capcom developed fighter. Now, it's the first all-new Street Fighter game since Street Fighter 2 way back in 1991, and it serves as a prequel to that game, which is why the character sprites look a lot younger than they did in the Street Fighter 2 series, and I absolutely love the Alpha series. I love the artwork, and I've said many times before on the channel that I wished this was the direction they'd gone back to when they introduced not only Street Fighter 5, but also subsequently Street Fighter 6. I wanted to return to the Alpha or Zero series. I want this kind of more anime 2D art style. This is what made me fall in love with the franchise. Seeing that sprite work, seeing that almost comic anime style artwork that so much love has been poured into, rather than this kind of more realistic approach with too many flashing effects everywhere. I sound like an old man now, I know. I make no apologies for that. I would love one day to see a return to the Alpha series. How many realistic looking games do we need? Anyway, old man ran over. This was a glaring omission because I already own, where are we? Just pick them up. I already own Alpha 2, iconic box art, and Alpha 3 in this disgusting value series box art. We're going to upgrade that at some point. So yeah, had to get Alpha 1. To be honest, I think Alpha 2 is probably my favourite. So this is very much more of a collector's piece. And the spine art annoys me, that it's got that Warrior's Dreams on it, right? It just not quite the continuity that I wanted. But yeah, very, very happy to saw this and pick it up. There's not many games that I need now for my Street Fighter collection on the PlayStation 1. At some point, I'm going to have to pull the wallet out and pick up Street Fighter the movie game. I've never played it, so at least, if nothing else, we'll have an interesting post-credit gameplay when I have to pick that one up, because I am intrigued, even though I don't expect much from it. But all in all, massive shout out to the good people over at Retrovolt. Some very nice pickups. The shop is much improved. They needed space and they now have it. Not only the space that you guys have seen on the footage, but they've also got a huge upstairs area which they haven't yet got sort of in a position to be open to the public. but there's so much potential with them at that store, and you can see the passion that they both have for it, and they're constantly getting in fantastic stock. Probably more so than any other game shop I'm aware of. They're always adding real heavy hitters and nice titles to their stock. So if you're ever anywhere near the sort of Nottinghamshire or Warsop area, go and pay those guys a visit, support your local video game stores, and yeah, thanks again for those guys for their hospitality. Right, so we're a couple of game hunts in. We've still got one more big one that we're going to be getting on this vlog, but I think it's time to turn our attention to the 3.0. There's a few jobs that we need to get done in here, so let's crack on with that. Okay, so there's actually more in here that needs doing than I thought, but I think the best place to start is over here. It's about time we got the GameCube Player's Choice put away. These need a forever home. This set is fast growing, so yeah, let's get these in situ. Now it makes the most sense to put them here. It's just a continuation of the existing GameCube set that we've already got. So we'll have to rehouse him. And I don't know where this is going. As I say, this Capcom Home Arcade has always been more of a display piece than anything. But we'll figure that out shortly. But for now, let's get them in here. But you know what that means. We need to get the old trunking hack done. And that's Player's Choice in. It's in the hardest little section to film in this room, in this tight gap here between the sofa. But yeah, I think they look really good. I've told you guys before, it should come just past one Billy bookshelf full. It should have to go into that a little bit, which is fine. We'll get to that when we get to it. There is, of course, one black one here, and I've got to give a shout out to everyone that let me know on last week's vlog. So I said this was a duplicate, because I was thinking I already had it, but what I already have is underground. So shout out to the eagle-eyed amongst you that let me know. This one, of course, will have to be replaced in terms of the box, which is why I've not bothered taking that sticker off. So we'll replace that with a cheap Player's Choice silver box when we find one. But yeah, looking good. On to the next job. Okay, even though there's quite a few more things in here which still require my attention, including the headache that is Game Boy games. I don't know where we're extending Game Boy to. I still haven't figured that one out. However, I had a message from my man T over on the Ghetto Gang Discord, Tony, aka Wizbits Random Gaming, to let me know there's a demo on the eShop that we've both been waiting for, and let's jump into it. And that game is Shinobi Art of Vengeance. This is a game I've been more excited for being released than any other game for a long time. I'm looking forward to Mafia Old Country as well, but ever since I saw that Sega, what was it, like almost like a Sega Direct, when they spoke about some of the new, or some of the old IPs that they were going to be rejuvenating, bringing back to life, this was the one for me, and I think this is the first one that they're doing as well. So this is the demo. Yeah, let's take a look together. Have we got a double jump? Yes, we have. Okay, we've got a double jump, an attack, a heavy attack, throwing projectiles. Okay, so the last Shinobi game I played, for those of you that have been watching a while, was on a year or so ago's How Many Games Can Complete 24 Hours episode.
I know you're busy leading the
I don't play for the dialogue. When I was playing Shinobi 3, that game defeated me. I spent hours trying to beat it, couldn't beat it. I don't think I'll ever beat Shinobi 3. Okay. Oh, hello. Woo! Woo! Like a save point. Press R to roll on the ground. Oh, nice. So you can also do a mid-air dash. So we've got a roll on the ground, a mid-air dash. Everything you'd want. Yeah, I've got to say, this feels great. This feels like it's living up to the hype. It reminds me a bit of when they did the Streets of Rage 4, and everyone was a bit skeptical because it's such a beloved game, and they knocked it out the park and nobody could disagree. Feels a bit like that. Like, this is great. It's definitely got that Shinobi feel, but the art style is just brilliant. It's very responsive. When the gauge is full, press R. Alright. Oh, hello! Shinobi execution. Your attacks build up when execution gauges shown below enemy health bars, and 1 is 4, you can perform a Shinobi execution. Right, we've got a shop. Okay. Never had this in the original Shinobi's. Wind slash. What's this one? Double slash. Knee attack. Now you're talking. Get my Anderson Silver on. Ah, I ain't got enough money. We'll have that one instead then. Oh, have that. Woo-wee. Oh, this is a lot of fun. We can roll over that parkour as well. And you can chain it all together because you've got a double jump and a mid-air dash, so you've effectively got a triple jump if you work it correctly. Right, I think we're going to call it there. I almost don't want to play too much myself, and I need to get Resident Evil finished, so I'm going to jump into that now and get that finished. Next time you see me, I will be out on a game hunt, but guys, if you want my advice, pre-order Shinobi. That was fantastic. Loved it.
Ghetto.
Good morning. I'm in the city of Derby. I had some business to attend to here, but whilst here, obviously, we're going to have to hit up the trifecta of retro video game shops, including my favourite CEX, the Derby branch. Let's go and take a quick look. It's the only place that's open. I don't really have a choice. Okay, nothing really happening in Derby CEX. Largely uneventful, but we now head to Mobile Game Exchange. This has become one of my firm favourite shops to visit. I usually find some nice stuff in here, so let's go. As you can see by the smile on my face, I had a great find. So there's something I've been looking for a long time. This is the only time I've ever seen it in person. Certain variant, and yeah, it was just sat on them shelves. And I got chatting to a lad, Lenny. Shout out to Lenny, by the way, he helped me film and everything in MGX. I picked it up and he's like, I'd pick that up. And I thought of you and I thought, yeah. So really happy with that. But right, next stop is Retro World. I've never seen this Lost and Damned one before. Didn't even know this was a thing. Love the artwork. Love that. Well, that was a very successful little game hunt. CEX Derby aside, which is just very rarely successful, let's be honest. Also, let me know if you find the signed RG sticker. I'm going to start popping them around now in different CEX stores. I think it'd be like a fun thing to do. So if you find it, let me know. Let me see it on Instagram or something like that and I'll repost it. But yeah, keep a look at in your CEXs because I'm going to be dropping stickers on every game hunt now. I'm going to try and do that. But anyway, pickups. I got something very, very good for what I think was an amazing price as well. But we'll get to that secondly. So that was my Mobile Game Exchange pickup. So let's start with Retro World. And I picked up, true to form, a bit of retro. And this is a Mega Drive game that I see quite a bit. And it used to be really cheap. But now it's steadily going up in price. But it's the box art. It's always intrigued me. Today I found it in perfect condition. It was the right time to pick it up. And that is Chaka Khan. We're gonna go with Chakan. It's actually Chakan the Forever Man stateside, but here I think it's just Chakan. But anyways, it's a 1993 dark themed platformer and it was designed to rival the more upbeat platformers of the time, such as Mario's and Sonic's. This one's a bit more macabre. You play as a warrior so confident of his swordsmanship that he decides to challenge death in battle. He ultimately bests death and is rewarded with immortality, but death rewards him in a way death would with his immortality, but he must wander existence for all time until a certain evil being is defeated. So yeah, a long-winded way of saying this is a very macabre action platformer. Now, I've heard reviews that this is very, very difficult, so time will tell with that one. Maybe this might be the post-credit gameplay, although I do have something else. We'll get to post-credit gameplay shortly, but I mean, look at the box art. It's absolutely stunning, and This is in very nice condition. Look at that manual. It's like it's barely been touched. Very rare you see this game in this condition. Usually I see it with no manual, beat up. And like I say, one that used to be like 10, 15 pounds, that's now going towards 30, 40, particularly in decent condition. So yeah, nice addition. Always nice when I can add Mega Drive games. Doesn't matter how much I collect, what I collect, nothing will ever beat the feeling of adding those Mega Drive or Super Nintendo games to my collection. So yeah, just one that I've been wanting to add for quite a while. Speaking of things I've been wanting to add to the collection for quite a while, I didn't even know this one existed until a while back, and I saw it on the Ghetto Gang Discord. And I thought I already had the variant of this, but then when I saw this variant, I thought that's the variant that I need. Anyway, the game itself is, on the PlayStation 2, Scarface, The World Is Yours. So this one's a 2006 action platform adventure game developed by Radical Entertainment, and it is of course based on the 1983 classic movie of the same name. I love this film. I grew up watching this film regularly. So the game is a broad stroke sequel with a changed ending where Tony survives this time and then he sets out on a revenge quest to defeat all his foes that tried to take him down. I have spoken about the game before on the channel, not too long ago actually, when I picked up this steelbook version of it, and I was very, very happy with that, as I say, until I learned of this. Now, I could not believe this was sat in Mobile Game Exchange, just sat there right front and centre, and I also could not believe that it was sat there for the price that it was sat there for. This was £20. There, on eBay, there was one sold for 40, but it was a bite now, so maybe someone just got lucky, because there's one for sale, and I think it's like £80. This was 20. Man, look at it. Okay, so this is Scarface, The World Is Yours, limited edition sleeve. Look at that. Look at those metallic reds and silvers. It was reminiscent to me of the 50 Cent Bulletproof in that way. But look at it. The spine is, I don't think there's a better spine on the PlayStation 2. Tell me a better spine than that on the PS2. Again, that red metallic just popping, and it's in nice condition, a little bit of corner damage. But for its age and the price, phenomenal. All that's on it is a bit of sticker residue. I'll be able to clean that up. And here's the trump card, right, guys? It gets better. So the only other game I can think of, actually there's a couple. I've got some random Xbox 360 battle chess game, and also the Red Dead Redemption sleeve I really like, that has a little Velcro here, and then opens up, and look at that. So you've got the iconic pose there with Tony Montana, and this section here, all I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I don't break them for no one. This has fast become one of my favorite things I own. I'd say, I saw this, I knew I wanted it, but I didn't know just how good it was until I saw it in person, until I had it in my own hands. This is phenomenal. I haven't had a chance to sort of like do any research. If you know the origins of this, like maybe it was a HMV exclusive or something like that, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to know more. Equally, let me know if you've ever seen one of these, because this is the first one I've ever seen in person. And judging by the fact there's only one for sale and one sold, it is a scarce item. And what a way to round off this week, right? Because that's going to do it for this week's Ghetto vlog. And for me, it's just great to be back out hunting again. Last week's vlog, we were on holiday. And then the Wednesday video, I was in here playing 24 games of Pro Evo. So just nice to get out there, back on it, hunting. And what a way to finish off this week's hunt. So happy with both these games, actually. But obviously this one in particular. And guys, we're just getting started when it comes back to getting on the old hunting wagon, because on Sunday, the day you're watching this, I'm going to be at the Sheffield Gaming Market, so I've got all that footage to come. And on Wednesday, I'm going to be bringing you exclusive access somewhere that cameras have never been. Mad, full of games. Do not miss it. Make sure you click the subscribe button if you're not already. I do appreciate everybody that hits that button. It helps me out. And of course, if you want to help me out even further and you want to get involved with all the fantastic stuff we've got going on over the Discord, get involved with the Ghetto Gang. There will be a link in the description box below. But guys, I think that's going to do it for this week. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch. Play your games, keep it retro. Stay tuned for post-credit gameplay. See you in a bit.
I got slowed down by the old lady.
Lock into the retro ghetto. Come and have a look around the ghetto. We got Sonic and Staples Setto. Lock into the retro ghetto.
And it's that time again, post-credit gameplay. There's quite a few contenders We had some really nice pickups on this week's vlog. And I got to be honest, Chakan was really tempting. However, I promised you guys an update on Super Meat Boy, especially after the end of last week's vlog. So let's take a look. So I posed the question at the end of last week, should I give up on it or should I continue? And it was very split, to be honest, but I had to continue. I've come too far and I'm really enjoying the game, and I'm delighted to say a couple of days later and hundreds more attempts, I managed to do it. So I was doing the first jump wrong for a start. I was trying to just jump off the top of the flat platform as opposed to sliding down the wall, then jumping, so you get a bit more momentum. But to be honest, I think I've got through the game thus far without needing to know that. But anyway, as I say, the difficulty's ramped up. You can now clearly see which meat boy I am on this run, and there's so much room for error, right? The margins are so small. Even this little fall here, you kind of have to guide him without jumping. Yeah, it's just eye of a needle stuff. And then when you get this far and you start thinking to yourself, I've never been this far before. That's why there's nothing happening. That's why my meat boy is stuck here. I think I'm probably looking at a YouTube video as to how to do this next bit whilst trying to compose myself, because once you get to this point, the last thing you want to do is die again. So yeah, this now is relatively simple, but like all things Meat Boy, it's also easy to make a mistake. So it was a case of heart in mouth, take a deep breath, try not to overthink it, get through these last couple of jumps. And guys, the euphoria, once I finally reached the end of this level, was second to none, let me tell you. Yeah, so now I can confirm that this level's been done. Let's crack on and see what's next with Super Meat Boy. Okay, so as you can see, chapter 6 is all but done. We've just got this boss fight to do. Dr. Fetus. Now this is the final boss, right? This is the guy. But I've heard there's 7 levels. I don't know if it's one of them where as soon as we do it, there's going to be another branch of worlds. I don't know. But let's just try and concentrate on this first. Right, okay. So he's trying to kill me. And I've got to do what exactly? Ah, okay. Get away from him, I assume. Okay, so let's... Ah! Oh my... Ah, right, okay. Ah, so we've got to beat that one as well. Okay. We've got to be fast without dying. Okay. So we need... Ah! Okay, this time. Now take your time. Take your time. Okay. Okay, so now where? Ooh! Everything's moving, right? So everything's against the clock. How am I supposed to get up there? Ah! Sit, take your time. Ah! Honestly, I flipping scream. Right, just take your time. It's easy, look. Right, but where am I supposed to go now? This is the question. So... it feels like it's impossible to get up there. Oh, now I'm going to get crushed. Where am I supposed to go? Stupid game. Stupid game! Right. Here we go. So now if I wait for that to go... How? I don't understand. Do I have to... Yeah, alright, so I have to get back onto that one, I assume. Okay, are we sussing this out? So, can I don't think I can go that way. That's what you have to do, but you have to get onto that one. I don't even know if it's possible. Right, this time. So we're going to let these pass. How? Where did he come from shooting me like that? Let me make the jump, mate. As if it's not hard enough. This little prick here. Yes! Yes! Right, don't die, don't die, don't die. You idiot! You absolute bloody idiot! Right, so as far as we've got. Ugh. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, yes. Okay. No! No, 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 no! Stupid! Yes, yes, yes. Come on. That's it. That's it. Here we go. Yes! No! Where did they come from? No, that's it. I'm done. I'm done. I am done. This game is bad for my health, man. Guys, I appreciate you watching. Hopefully next week we'll have that one done, but I can't do it right now. Right. I think last week we did Ghetto Meat. This week, Meaty Ghetto. If you've watched to this point in the video, Meaty Ghetto. I'm going to go for a sit down and a cup of tea. Thank you for watching. In a bit.